Thank you, Susan. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Madhvi Gokul from the Member Services Department. So I'll start today's session by giving you an update from the department. So the core services of AFRINIC are handled by the Member Services Department. What are they? Member management, resource management. We do member outreaches, and we also operate a member help desk. In regard to member management, some of the activities that are conducted as part of that are contact updates. We encourage our members to update the contact information of their staff who are in our records, okay, regularly. We maintain the registration services agreement. These are the contracts that the AFRINIC members sign with AFRINIC. We handle BPKI requests. These are requests that enable our members to implement routing security. We conduct an annual closure exercise. This is in cases where members have breached their RSA and we have to take back the resources. And another activity that is not run by member services, but by the AFRINIC finance department is the annual billing. So all our members are invoiced the annual membership fees. The exercise has already started for 2020. It was done in October of this year. So we have grown to slightly more than 1,700 members as at yesterday. And this is the distribution of our members per country in our service region. You will see here that the most of our members are concentrated in Southern Africa, but we have members from all over the continent now. So a summary of the closure exercise that was conducted this year in 2 iterations. So we've closed roughly 85 members. Around 400,000 of IPv4 resources were reclaimed, and I must say these have been quarantined. The members, these organizations can come back to AFRINIC, pay whatever their dues are, and get the resources back for a certain period of time. So the annual billing, there have been quite a few enhancements that we brought this year. Our members can choose to be invoiced in the euro currency. Before, we only had transactions being conducted in US dollars. Part credit card payment is possible in USD at the moment. For the members who have challenges to pay, they have restrictions on their cards, but they can pay in multiple iterations until they've settled their fees. Quite a few members use this facility. And we have already sent the annual invoice for 2020 for all our members who have had no outstanding fees for 2019 and before. When it comes to resource management, AFRINIC as Regional Internet Registry, RIR, as we say, manages a pool of internet number resources. We also conduct resource transfers. These are allowed through a policy within the AFRINIC service region. We also look at the policy proposals, conduct impact assessment, and are involved in the implementation of the policy proposals that reach consensus and are ratified by the board. We provide a helpdesk support, like the services support for the Internet Routing Registry and reverse delegation, as well as the WHOIS database. The WHOIS database is critical to AFRINIC. We have to maintain a WHOIS database, which is publicly available, and that holds the registration of all resources delegated in the AFRINIC service region 2 organizations residing in the AFRINIC service region. So I've kept a slide in here because just to explain the life cycle of resources. So when we receive IP resources from IANA in the past and now PTI, the resources come into our inventory as being available. Once we have evaluated and approved a request, in the case of IPv4, we reserve those IPs until the member has been invoiced and settled the fees, and then we issue the resources. So when we issue the resources, the status of these resources become allocated or assigned. In the case of reclamation, the state will move from allocated or assigned back to reserved until we've cleaned it up, and eventually to available once they are ready, they've passed the quarantine period, and they are cleaned up and they are ready to be issued to other organizations who have a need for the resources. A key milestone in our history has been that in 2017, we reached phase 1 of soft landing. Soft landing is a policy that was proposed by the community and reached consensus, I think in 2010 or 2011. So in that, we started the soft landing phase 1 with 1/8, 16 million of resources at that time. And as we have received requests from our members for more resources, that the level of available pool decreased gradually until this week, 3rd of December, this week, where we have roughly 580,000 of IP addresses available until we reach the next milestone, which is the phase 2 of soft landing. So in phase 2, when we step into phase 2 of soft landing, what we will have as available resources to be given to our members is, the amount is a /11, so roughly 2 million of IP addresses. We have reservations due to policy, so about 1.1 million of IP addresses that are reserved due to policy stipulations, and roughly 700,000 of IPv4 addresses reserved, and these are mostly quarantined IP addresses. A change that is coming up, anytime as from now on, we could be entering phase 2 of the soft landing policy. And during the phase 2, what happens is the amount of IP resources that we can issue to our members decreases. A minimum of a /24 for IPv4, which is 256 IP addresses, to a maximum of 1,024 IPs, which is a /22. Yeah. So the reason for the policy reservations have been for AS numbers were reserved for internet exchange points, IPv4 for internet exchange points, and a /12 that will go back to the available pool once we have reached, once we have finished the /11 of the phase 2 of the soft landing. So this is the chart of how quickly the available IPv4 resources dwindled in our inventory. The IPv4 location trends, 5 years ago, we had a peak in the amount of IPs that we delegated to our members. We reached more than a /8. But of course, since the past 2 years, because of the restriction of the phase 1, the amount of IPs that we could delegate decreased considerably. The ASN Assignment Trends, that has been an ongoing activity. Networks requiring AS numbers came complied with policy and got their AS numbers. IPv6 trends, the two peaks that you see are big or large operators justifying for more than the minimum of IPv6 space that they could get from AFRINIC. But roughly we have about roughly 40% of AFRINIC membership hold an IPv6 prefix at the moment. We conduct resource transfers because of an existing ratified policy allowing intra or IR transfers. Through that transfers, 14 IPv4 prefixes have been transferred, and these transfers are conducted automatically. So very minimum manual intervention. So I said earlier, we are preparing ourselves to enter into phase 2 of the soft landing policy. So the team at home are busy refining our processes, monitoring the available IPv4 space, clean up any reclaimed space that have reached the end of the quarantine period, putting up our communication and updating the user documentation. We conducted 10 outreaches this year, same as last year, and during these outreaches, we interact with our members. For example, in this event, besides participating in the conference, we actively meeting our members from Angola and beyond who are on site, helping them with internet number resource management, seeing what are the pain points and helping them with it. Our member services booth is just outside the hall here. Any of you interested in becoming members or having questions, please feel free to approach us and we'll gladly help you. So some statistics here from the member help desk. We have received 145 RPKI requests. That's a record for this year. Roughly 300 contact update requests from our members, and 242 requests were logged for assistance with the internet routing registry. In regard to the service uptake, regarding RPKI, so these are the growth in the number of BPKI requests that were approved. You can see a sharp peak this year. Same is reflected in the number of ROAs. This is related to RPKI adoption. Quite a lot of our members have started embarking on implementing routing security. So this is the trend that we have been able to observe. Roughly, slightly higher than 800 of our AFRINIC members have adopted the AFRINIC routing registry. That's roughly more than 55% of our membership already. It was a slow start, but yeah, we're happy that the members are adopting the service because we offer them the service at no charge. Okay, all they pay us is the annual membership fees, and these are the services that doesn't cost them any extra dollar. So they only have to adopt. As part of our housekeeping activities, we look at inconsistencies, especially whois database inconsistencies. Once we detect them, we embark on a plan as to how to resolve them, and we contact the members where applicable. Key activities that we have run this year, the review of documentation related to our core activities on the AFRINIC website, automation of some tasks, which brought in some control procedures internally as well. There's the member information update. This is an activity that will be kickstarted soon. We're wrapping up some of the outstanding issues that had to be resolved. And this will be reflected by, once we launch it, communicating with our members to get them to verify the contact information on MyAFRINIC and mark them as verified themselves. Okay, and we're hoping that our members will make use of this opportunity, and next year we'll be back to report on how far or how best our members adopted this. Some recommendations before I conclude: keep your contacts updated at all times. If you don't know how, consult our website or come to us at the booth. Christelle is at the booth at the moment. She'll be happy to help you. Check if you have received the 2020 invoice. If not, you definitely have an outstanding balance. Settle that so that you may receive the 2020 invoice. Pay your annual membership fees on time to avoid getting penalty fees. Read and understand the resource policies. So those in room here, please be with us at 11 onwards and until close of business tomorrow to follow the policy discussions. And also the policies, the ratified policies are available on our website, so you can actually go through them. And on this, I'd like to thank you for your attention. I will take questions at the end of